Hey guys, I wanted to make a video regarding something that is asked about quite a lot. Often this question shows itself in many ways, such as how do people kill Defiler so fast? Why is this experienced player running so much minus crit? Or even the rare but quite attentive, I just crit way too much in a row, this game's RNG seed is just trash? And over the course of the video I'm going to explain what the answer to all these questions is, with a little bit of history as well sprinkled in. But without further ado, I'd like to refine your question with a little bit of insider knowledge. What is Buff Near Death Big? Well, it's a hidden buff in the game's code that doesn't even appear in your user interface. Let's cover how you get it before going over how we can abuse it. Buff Near Death Big triggers anytime a ship class object, whether it be a random AI in open space, your teammate who is desperately begging you to go help them, or even the experimental destroyer himself in Dreamland, reaches low health. What is low health specifically? For science, it's about 25%. Given that emergency barrier procs at 15% hull remaining, you basically will always proc it when you get E-barriered or close to it, and definitely on the first time that happens in a battle after a breather. The buff has 5 effects that all last 12 seconds after being activated, and they can be activated again using the same conditions once a minimum of 25 seconds pass after the initial activation. You might be thinking, that's a lot of health to be missing just to get a buff that I can't even see. Well, that is only partially true. You ever heard of this soundbite? Ever seen the red heads-up display overlay? These are the signs that the buff has been applied to you. Now that we can identify when we have it, let's jump into the details of what exactly it does. The 5 buffs are as follows. 15% missile damage, nice but only really situationally relevant. 75 shield resist to all elements, which is also not the most helpful considering it just procced because your shields are already down and your hull is critical. 75 hull resist to all elements, nice, safe to say it's a lot more helpful than the shield resistance for more reason than one. 15% main weapon damage, which is very good. I like this a lot. The best defense after all is having your enemy die before they can hurt you. And 75% critical chance. I'm sorry? If you're like me, then you probably thought, wow, I only need 25% base critical chance and low health to crit 100% of the time. And you'd be right, but what if I told you we could get even more out of it? With the addition of C-chips into the game, it became possible to add critical chance debuffs to yourself, often for wild damage-related payouts, some better than others. No crit builds were a thing for a while, just stacking infinite plus damage minus crit chance, and they largely kicked ass. After all, if you do so much damage each hit, might as well be a crit. No issue, right? An investigation was brought up with aiming overcharge seeming unreasonably effective on no crit gunship builds. It was critting basically every other shot, even with C-chips that granted downwards of negative 60% crit chance. It seems impossible at first. Well, some testing found that the rate of critical hits exactly matched that of aiming overcharge, regardless of its upgrade level. That means that the critical hit rate stat has a minimum value of 0% after your ship gets into the battle, and any buff you get after you get into battle is fair game. The Federation ship above 90% speed critical chance buff, that alone can cause no crit builds to crit, and you might not have even noticed it yet. So that 75% critical chance buff, yeah, you can see where this is going. If you start critting like it's no tomorrow when you're on a no crit build, now you know why. Simply pairing with aiming overcharge, you have a full crit machine, for 9 seconds at least. The culmination of that logic can be evident in the video I would like to leave you with to end this presentation, but not before I show you how you can calculate your critical chance factoring in this Buff Near Death Big buff.